I
The
felt Donna. Anyhow, all right. I guess this is another episode of Out of Focus podcast. There's finally a name for this podcast, and yeah, today's a special one. We got a guest from all the way from Saudi Arabia, من السعودية, من منطقة الشرقية. In addition to that, we have also a special host, which is going to be hopefully joining us for the rest of the podcast. She's my coworker, Donna. Do you want to say a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a radio presenter, on-screen presenter. I also have a healthy food brand and a certified nutrition coach.
All right. And we got OJ here, but OJ is mixing a little bit. There we go.
What's up?
Yeah, so today we got a special guest. I mean, on the first podcast, we talked a little bit about fashion, but we kind of diversified, talking about social media and how can social media help and all that. But in this one, it's quite special because, you know, first of all, I have, I say, no clue who this person is. I've heard a little bit about him. And but based on what I've known so far, I'm quite inspired by his story. And I do see something. And, you know, especially with the talent that's going on in Eastern Providence, منطقة الشرقية, you guys are just like, I wouldn't say way ahead, but it's like so much talent out there.
There's a lot going on there.
There is. And not just in fashion, but in filmmaking and just everything. Saudi's just expanding and it's booming. And I'm excited.
Coming up.
Yes, I'm excited to be part of that wave since, you know, also working for a time there. And yeah, it's exciting. So tell us a little bit about this guest that we have today.
So yeah, his name is Ahmed Sinan, a very cool guy. He's into a lot of different things. Mainly he's a designer and a fashion producer.
Cool.
Yeah, he has his own brand. He's also collaborated with a lot of people, did a lot of projects, worked with magazines, photographers, but he'll tell us more about that.
All right, so I guess let's welcome in Ahmed.
Yeah.
Come along, mate.
Welcome.
What's up, guys? كيف
Hey.
حالكم?
Tamam.
Good. كيف الحال?
Thanks for coming to the show, man.
Wallah, thank you for inviting me. It's good to be here. I'm glad to be here in Bahrain. What's
Awesome.
up?
Is it your first time being in Bahrain since?
No, man. I'm always in Bahrain. So I'm from Sharqiyya. We always come to Bahrain. We're
Our second
neighbors.
home.
Second home, basically, yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad you're here and all that. And also, like, man, just tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, like I said, I know a little bit about you. Donna did tell me a quick recap on what you do. But tell me, like, what is it that you do? And I know that you like to fashion. I like your style right here. So
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, so my name is Ahmed Sinan. I'm from Saudi Arabia, Eastern Province, Sharqiyya. I have my own brand. It's called Astro. I'm wearing it right now.
Represent.
Yeah, all the way from Saudi, you know what I'm saying? I did a lot of fashion production magazines. I've worked with Hiya magazine, Condé Nast, Marie Claire magazine. So pretty much all in the fashion industry, in the media industry. I've done some work over there, but there's a long way to go, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say I'm a beginner, but I'm still in the first stages in this career, if you will.
nice. And like, tell me about how fashion. I mean, what got you into fashion in the first place?
Oh, I love fashion since I was a kid. I've never thought that I would make my own brand, to be honest. When I was in America, I always talked with my cousin about let's do our own brand. But back then, it was 2015, I guess. It seemed far-fetched. It seemed like no way it's gonna happen.
May I ask why?
Yeah, for sure. I'll tell you why. So I went to America and I studied business and economics. It has nothing to do with fashion. And when I came back here to Saudi Arabia, I saw that, you know, life is different. It's booming over here. There's a lot of opportunities. You can actually follow your dream and do what you love. You know, with time, I decided, you know what, I might, because I put that dream in the shelf and I was like, yo, it's staring at me right now. Let me get this back really quick. So it was creating my own brand and platform to do the things that I love, you know, and not just, you know, if you know Astro, you will know it's not just a regular brand with just T-shirts and that. No, we do a lot of stuff as far as charity work, you know, bringing the community together. It's more than just a brand. It's not just a brand. we've done a lot of work. We've done charity tournaments, soccer tournaments, basketball tournaments, and it's all for charity. So pretty much creating a platform for me and the people around me to do what we love and bring back to our community.
Nice. And do you feel like that had like a lot with? Do you feel like your community kind of like switched gear in terms of like understanding fashion a different perspective?
Man, absolutely. It's very competitive. Right now, it's very, very competitive in Saudi Arabia, and it's good. It's good for everybody because no one is comfortable being at the same spot right now. You have to always work on yourself, improve on your skills, knowledge, all of that. Yani right now, we're in a place in Saudi where you're not just gonna do anything and get away with it. People will criticize, and the people set the bar very high right now. And you're not just gonna come and do regular work and get away with it, I guess. But it has to be done very well done, and it's fun. It's really fun. It's an interesting time to be in. I guess in the whole Gulf area, and the whole Gulf area is booming. It's always been, in my opinion. But in this particular time, all eyes on us right now, right? All the Gulf area.
Yeah.
So it's good to be here. It's good to be from here. It's good to contribute to this community of ours, and I'm just excited, to be part of it.
Nice. And what do you say is like a key figure in terms of having it kind of like main factor? Sorry, I'm being. What's up, buddy? It's all good.
Stuff right there.
All right, going back to what you just said. So, like, can you tell me a little bit about? You said Astro?
Yes.
Yeah. How did that start?
So Astro, we started Astro almost two years ago, and the idea of Astro was, as I mentioned earlier, not to become a regular brand where we just sell T-shirts, pants, and all of that. La, we wanted to connect with the community in a deeper level. Of course, me being in America, and I've seen how the American lifestyle is, people always give back in America. They always find a way to give back to their community. So of course, I tried to implement this in my own brand. Anything I would have done, I will implement this feature in my career where I give back to my community. I connect with my community in a deeper level. So we were able to accomplish that in the first few years in Astro by...
In the first line.
Yes, exactly. In the first line,
Yeah.
it was about, it was called To the Kids by the Kids. And it's amazing how this collection, it was the first collection of Astro. We gathered 6 kids. We had them paint for us, and we printed their painting on T-shirts. And all the profits went to to kids that are diagnosed with cancer. And I went personally to the hospital, and I gifted them with gifts and all of that. So the experience was amazing, and until today I think about it and I look back at the pictures, I'm like, wow, it touches me in a different level. So those are the things that I love to do, to connect with people, not just fashion and designs and all of this is cool, fashion is cool and all of that is cool, but what else are you gonna do to touch people in a deeper level? Again, if it was music or fashion or art, whatever I was gonna do, I was gonna find a way to connect with people and give back and like literally just meet new people and raise awareness about causes, stuff like that. That's what inspires me and pushes me to do more. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
Tell us about this line.
Yeah, agriculture. So that's the thing. Also, إحنا مو دائما we do collections that raise awareness about causes, whatever. We do events. Collections, we only did 2 collections. The first one and this one, the one I'm wearing right now. It's called agriculture, which something that holds very close to my heart is farming. And I love to support farmers. A few months ago, I was always just chilling with farmers at farms, and the vibe is amazing. And I'm like, yo, man, people overlook farmers. You know what I'm saying? Like, people overlook farmers and their job. If it hits me, and I need to do a collection to give back to farmers, because it's when it comes to humanity, humans in general, farming is very essential to human beings. And at this era that we live in, it's very, very overlooked. Almost this, who does that anymore? Type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But to me, no. It's like I gotta raise awareness about this and let people know that farming is still very, very essential to our to humans in general. You know what I'm saying? So this collection supports farming, and it's not fully it's not non-profitable, just like the first collection. It's just we're gonna take percentage of the profits, and then we're gonna give back to farmers by buying and purchasing from their producers, and just to support.
I might ask, all the like t-shirts that you do, are they all for a cause?
No, no. As I mentioned, not all the collections that we do is for a cause. We do events that will raise awareness about a certain cause. But if I do a collection about a certain cause, it has to be something that holds a very, and something that means a lot to me. I need to raise awareness. I need to do a collection and designs around it, stuff like that. Now, if you notice this collection, and it says agriculture without any artwork, because I didn't want to distract the people from by implementing artworks, stuff like that. It was just the raising awareness about agriculture. This is it. Farming, you're gonna understand it. If I'm gonna put artwork or other stuff, it's gonna distract people, I guess. I went for branding and basically raising awareness about a cause. And alhamdulillah, it worked very well. It's very interesting when people ask about it, like why, what is that? Who's gonna benefit from this collection? It always hit me. They understand, okay? They understand what I'm doing. And if as long as people understand and we connect in dots, I feel like mission accomplished.
Right.
Yeah.
And just based on all this, I'm quite inspired that I had no clue that, mostly what he was saying is based for something, and not only that, but for events and all. Because I thought if I would come up with a brand, I'd do something cool and then, make a profit out of it. And that's kind of like number one goal. But I'm quite inspired by that. But I got a question to you, Donna. Now, in terms of like Sharqiyya and all that, do you feel like in Saudi for the past, 4 or 5 years that a lot of kind of talent is now being put on the spotlight and just like it's being overwhelming? Or do you feel like it has always been there, but they were not exposed enough?
No, I think that a lot is coming up more than before because there's freedom of social media helps a lot, honestly. It gives you a platform to show whatever you want to show, whatever talents you have. And seeing more talents come up is inspiring more people to expose their own talents. And seeing, like, especially in fashion, people are expressing themselves a lot more than before.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, social media gave everybody like a mic, and you're like, okay, talk about whatever you want to do or whatever you want to say, or record it. Social media is there, and there is no middleman anymore.
Yeah.
So you can go directly to the people straight up.
And it's not about fitting in or going with trends anymore. It's about doing you, being special in your own way, which is really cool to see. It's inspiring, honestly.
It is.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about social media, man. So you, besides the Astro thing, you said you mentioned something with the magazine.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that and what you do with that magazine.
Yeah, what was
and who's
that like?
Yeah, so magazines is cool. Shout out to Hatem Al-Aqil, by the way. Hatem Al-Aqil is a very well-known designer from Saudi Arabia, and he's the one who connected me with a lot of magazines. And what we do is we produce magazines, we put teams together. We bring talents in different areas in Saudi Arabia, and we put them in one project. And man, magic happens. Now, magazines are cool, but what's even cooler is meeting the talents, the talented people that, bring the project to life. To me, it's the best thing about this. It's just meeting the creative people. We did Mary Claire, we did Condé Nast. Condé Nast was in Al-Ula, so it was a very, very great experience. We went to Al-Ula, we shot for, we wanted to show Al-Ula in a different way, in an authentic way. And the model, Asma At-Turk, shout out to Asma, and literally, she's a very, very great model. And when she walked in the scene, so that was one of the experiences that I remember. And everybody call themselves models until it's time to model, right? I'm not making fun of anybody. You can go ahead. And
Let's pause there. So, what is a model?
What is a model?
Yeah, it's a good one.
So there is a fashion model, there is an Instagram model, there is a commercial model, and you just gotta know which one you are. You know what I'm saying? So when I saw Asma, and I knew the definition of fashion model. She's a fashion model. She just walked in the scene and she owned it. Khalas, she owns the scene, she owns the poses, and the photographer, all they had to do was take the picture, as opposed to other models that, I'm not taking away anything from anybody, you know what I'm saying? If you think you're a fashion model, go ahead and do your thing. But you have to have knowledge and understanding of your role and what are you doing. And you have to understand what are you doing, you know what I'm saying? Don't say you're a fashion model without knowing what fashion model is.
Right. And that's sort of like the same thing with podcasts. Like, we have no idea what we're doing, but,
absolutely,
we're giving it a shot.
Just do it. Fake it till you make it.
Absolutely. But, post-production, the guy who's going to do the editing, he got to know what he's doing.
That will be me, by the way. So.
You got to know what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good point. Yeah. But, when it comes to fashion model, when you're going to get paid to do a certain thing, it has to be done in a certain way. It has to be done professionally, maybe. If you work with a magazine, let's say, and they see your pictures on Instagram, you look really good on Instagram, and then when they hire you for a certain job, modeling, let's say, and you're gonna flop, it's gonna be very bad for your reputation. So prior going to that, you have to understand modeling if you're a model, you have to understand designing if you're a designer, podcasting if you're a podcaster, all of that. You have to understand what you're doing in order to do it the right way. And I was there before everybody else, I had to go through ups and downs, and I had to be put in the spot. And you need to have information, knowledge, understanding of everything that you do in life, and it shows.
But does this knowledge come with just doing it and then learning, or does it come from learning and then doing it?
I think both. You have to, of course, be experienced and go through the process, but of course, you have to do your own research, your own due diligence. Mm-hmm. Maybe, if you are a fashion model, you maybe look to previous fashion models, how they did things, poses, understand your body language, what works best for you. Understanding yourself is very important, and what works for me might not work for someone else. You know what I'm saying? So I have to be comfortable with my own self. But that's just one topic as fashion models. Then if you go to Instagram, everybody's a fashion model on Instagram. But trust me, I've worked with people, and in front of the camera, they don't know what to do. But on Instagram, they're fashion models and all of that. But when it comes to the camera, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to act in front of the camera. Now, what happened there is the lack of understanding themselves and the fashion thing or the modeling thing that they're doing. They don't understand it. They just like it. They're fascinated by being a model. But when you put in the action, and this is the time right now, trust me. But it's good for everybody that you go through the flaws of whatever that you want to do, because you're gonna learn from it. But not just learn, but also study. Studying is very important. Yeah.
I gotta ask you. So we all know, you come from a country that expanded recently, and openness and being transparent and all that for the recent years, and living in such a conservative way and so long.
Absolutely, yeah.
But gladly things are changing and things are going for the better. Do people view you as, okay, this guy is an outcast? Like, I'm being transparent with you here. Please don't get offended.
No,
okay,
fine,
like the hair, the hair, or what kind of pants are those? I like those. For me, I like them, but people are like, what is that? They're not used to seeing that. And I had a first guest for the show, and I did say like your kind of fashion is a little bit taboo, as in it's an outcast thing. I don't see that quite often. How do you see that in being, not the fact that you stand out, but do you see that it's a new wave you want to kind of spread in Saudi and all the way in the GCC, or do you see it as like, I'm just being myself, man, and I just go with the flow?
That's a really good question, man. So if you're not confident of the things that you do, once you get confronted, khalas, you will have some emotional battle, I guess, with yourself, and I cannot handle this. But if you're confident, I can sit on in front of everybody and be like, "Yo, this is me. This is what I like, and I will wear it in the way I wear it. I will talk the way I talk, act the way I act." It's just about being confident and comfortable with your skin. But as far as people viewing me as, or anybody else that's doing their thing for that matter, as a taboo or different or outcast, of course, yeah, a lot of people will view it this way. Absolutely, 100%. You're gonna be like, everybody's staring at you and be like, look what he's doing differently. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a regular job or stuff like that. They're not used to that yet. But if you go to the Western in America and all of that, no, they already been doing that entrepreneur stuff. He's a designer, he's a digital marketer, he's a videographer, filmmaker. خلاص في diversity. حنا عندنا في السعودية و mostly in the Gulf area تعودنا إنه there's a regular job, you have to be an engineer, a doctor, and even our families, let alone people from the outside, our families will give us hard time of being us. And you think my family at the beginning they didn't support what I wanted to do. They wanted me to get a regular job, of course, but with time and with understanding, and they looked around and they saw like, okay, everybody's doing their thing and life is changing. Might as well support the kid, you know what I'm saying? Why let him down? Because everybody else is, يعني خلاص, everybody is, it's changing, and parents are starting to realize, and okay, خلاص, it's not our era anymore, it's theirs. And it's different than ours.
Right.
And
It's kind of like hard for them to accept that, but it's part of the wave. I'd say that a lot of people are saying yes, because I do agree. I also myself studied abroad and moved back, and it was kind of the same script, like get a job, have a full-time job, get married, have kids, and I'm like, no, man, I want to focus on my career. I want to do all this. I want to fulfill myself first, and then maybe I can be like, now I'm ready for all that kind of thing, which is pretty much, in other words, passing the torch. Because you want to pass the torch to the second generation. But yeah, I don't think don't get me wrong, are you married?
No, I'm not.
All right. So I think the only one who's married is Do you have any opinion on that? Because I do feel like, in kind of my books, firstly, that when it comes to something like that, is that it kind of drifts you off in a certain way. Don't get me wrong, it can definitely not drift you off and make you like full focus on what you want.
I think it depends on the person.
I think it depends on the person and the person that person is with. Yeah.
Exactly. بالعكس, I think relationships actually can excel a person. It can make you even double beast كده times. Like, because I have someone else that always there for me, always supporting me, even if I'm doing something wrong, I did something not in a perfect way, they will tell me that, and then they're gonna be like, yo, you can do better. So they push me, they hype me up. As opposed to me, I'm single, ain't nobody care for me. Like, you're on your own, bro.
Right.
Wallah, sometimes I feel like, okay, في advantage to the people that they are in a relationship. No, they always hyped. They always gonna get hyped.
I
You know what I'm
agree,
saying? Yeah, of course. Single people are, it's harder for them.
Yeah. I think I started pushing myself more after getting married because Mustafa, shout out to Mustafa. He always pushes me when I get too comfortable. He sees my potential and he pushes me and supports me when I need the support. I support him when he needs the support. So it does push you, but it also depends on the relationship, the person, your goals, what you want to reach. If your goals are just, for example, excelling in your career, then you should choose a person that also has the same goals or supports you in your goals. Yeah, exactly. If your goals are to build a house, to have kids, that can be it, or a combination.
Right.
As long as you're aligned.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like OJ, you want to say something on this topic. Right.
I do actually have a question for you, man. This might be a stupid question, but when we first introduced you, Donna said that you're a fashion designer and a fashion producer.
Yeah.
How would you explain that to the audience? Like, what does a fashion producer do?
So first, designer. I want to explain the designer part.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm not a fashion designer. I'm a designer in general. I design anything, man. From art installations, stuff like this, to Instagram posts. You know, like you design everything that you work with. But fashion producer is I don't want to say it's a new thing, but there is a new system for fashion production in social media. I mentioned it earlier when I talked about magazines. We produce magazines, so content creating basically for magazines, but it can happen for other brands, other companies, commercially or privately. You produce content basically. So magazines will come up to you and be like, okay, Ahmed, there is Tiffany and Co. and they want to do a photo shoot with this influencer. Can you bring us a team together and a location and all of that? So you will go out there and find makeup artist, hairstylist, stylist for the fashion styling, and all of that. And you got to put them all together for this project. But you have to pick wisely for that. As I mentioned earlier, في models for fashion, في models for commercial, في models for certain things. Not all models are fashion models. Not all makeup artists. Some makeup artists for weddings. Other makeup artists is for flashy photo shoots. أشياء زي كده which wedding makeup artist not gonna understand and not gonna be able to do. So you have to understand what's the project, what we're gonna need, who we're gonna need, and all of that information matters. حتى الستايلست في ستايلست يعني الستايل حقها very formal. Other stylists is very open or modern. Yeah, exactly. كده edgy stuff, which I like. It depends. يعني you have to put the team together, and not everything يعني gets approved. يعني you would want to put a photographer for a certain project, but and then you're gonna put it, send it to the client with Tiffany and Co. or any magazine. Be like, no, this photographer doesn't work, and they have their own standards and criteria. But it's basically producing content for big magazines or brands. Yeah.
Can I
So
ask-
social media the main place you find those people?
Basically, yes, 100%. But networking matters. Again, shout out to Hatem Al-Aqil, and he always networking me with the right people. And I will go to social media to connect with them. But WhatsApp is very important, actually.
Shout out to WhatsApp. That's what it is.
away from Instagram, your WhatsApp has to be popping. If your WhatsApp is not popping, you ain't popping, bruv. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, mostly social media, and that's how at least the magazines and these brands find people, and they be like, go after them. We want him or we want her.
So you think like a fashion model or a photographer in this age, this day and age, couldn't succeed or be known without having an active social media account?
Absolutely not. Good question, though. Absolutely not. If you don't have a social media account,
You're losing a lot.
You're nameless.
Yeah.
No one knows you. I'm sorry. I hate to say that, but this is the fact of the matter.
It's reality.
Yeah, it's reality. I saw an old head. I forgot his name in social media, and he was like, "You don't need social media to do what you do." مدري إيش. بعدها I saw. I don't know who put the video together, but they put a video of him saying, "You need social media to do whatever." So يعني خلاص, he was stubborn. كان عنيد في البداية, and he's trying to say in the no, you don't need social media. And then, of course, he realized, no.
You have to recognize the.
You have to have social media is like your passport these days. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but this is how it's going right now.
Yeah.
Social media is your passport. It's kind of like your resume at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I realized that when I worked with magazines, because I will send them a talented photographer or a talented model, and I know they're talented, but they're gonna be like, no, we don't want them. Why? Because their profile is not set in the right way. ولا حط البروفايل picture حقته what do they call it
Bunch of selfies?
No, not selfies. اللي كان cartoons type of shit.
Oh yeah,
type of thing.
the bitmojis.
Bitmoji, stuff like that. So once, what is it? NFTs. No, not NFTs.
Bitmojis.
Something like that. Bitmoji. Avatar.
Avatar, here we go.
Yeah, an avatar of them. So I know this photographer is talented, but his profile on Instagram was not set the right way for magazines to look at. And once they see the stuff, it's like X immediately. And I'm like, why? I know they're talented. Give them a chance to work with them. Mm-hmm. They're like X, this is it. Yani, so you have to. So now we reached the point where you have to set your profile in a certain way in order to be
Taken seriously.
yeah, taken seriously and perceived in a certain way. Yeah, it came down to this. So most of us asking, would you get a job where you handle social media account for influencers or stuff like that, and you get
Basically,
paid?
pimp them out, you know.
Yeah. Me personally, طبعا absolutely not, 100% not. 100% I got offered a lot. It's a no to me. And I can barely do it for myself, let alone doing it for other people. And you have to imagine their style, what they like, their lifestyle, and all of that. To me, it's a no. But I don't know about anybody else. What do you think?
In terms of that, I would say, like, to be honest, I wouldn't want to give somebody else my Instagram to handle it, because I would say my Instagram is my own identity.
But even if you're famous, but yeah, you need someone to handle your account in order to keep things
Like a
going.
good example with that, dude, is like, because I'm a filmmaker myself and I follow a lot of directors, and dude, their Instagram, and OJ might agree with this, their Instagram is just like, what the hell? This is like,
What?
like, I mean, like their photos that they post, you know, like high-end directors, Martin Scorsese or whatnot.
Cheat
Their
codes.
photos are like, they're like not so good, like, not so good at all,
bro.
you know.
I realized that always videographers who film يعني makers, they post terrible pictures. Then they know they can do better. They don't care about social media. Social media is like, take
Exactly.
a selfie. This is it. I don't care.
And then we like focus on the details. Like, I'm not gonna post this. Okay, this is not saturated, because I focus on my page a lot on saturation. So I don't do selfies. I kind of like have to, like one thing I like to focus on my Instagram is like the colors have to pop.
Okay.
And like that have a story. So pretty much I want people to know on the first 6 images that I posted in the past couple months, this is what I've been doing. So okay, we kind of know Ali Salam. He's this type of guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, obviously, if I'm high end, if I had 1 million followers and all that, I would do it for business as well, and also being myself. I would say it's a very kind of tricky question if I would kind of get somebody to handle my Instagram. But if I'm starting from scratch, not knowing Instagram, like a certain filmmaker like that, the names that I mentioned, directors and all that, then absolutely, because they would definitely need somebody to handle their Instagram.
They will need someone to handle the account. Yeah, it's all about aesthetics.
Because I'm kind of buggy about this word, which is influencer. To me, that word is I mean, a lot of people are self-entitled to be influencers, which it's fine, but
Fine with me.
you're right. It's like, but what makes a person influencer? Obviously, everybody influences each other.
So,
Cool. But what, is there like a certain accomplishment you have to do? Like, I influenced 100 people to do this. Boom, I'm an influencer. Or am I just somebody?
Certain number of followers, maybe.
do you know the answer of this, Dara? Because to me,
You got a lot of followers.
Blurred lines when it comes to influencing.
I think it's a very loose term.
Yeah.
I think anyone can be an influencer.
True.
You can have 100 followers and be considered an influencer. But each person sees it differently. Some people think you're an influencer if you're bringing out informative content or inspiring content or some sort of beneficial content. But some people consider it just having a certain number of followers and views makes you an influencer. I don't think there's a definite answer.
Well, to me,
I think just being present, you're an influencer.
Exactly. You just have to keep consistently doing your thing.
Yeah.
For example, just like I keep mentioning Zombie, man. Shout out to Zombie. Every podcast
I was about
do,
to mention him too.
I find myself mentioning Zombie, and shout out to Zombie, bro. We love
Zombie.
You. Zombie is a great fashion model من السعودية من الشرقية specifically. I've worked with him a lot, and this guy is a maniac. يعني خاص. He loves what he does. He does what he loves. And he owns it. He owns the scene. He owns what he does. Oh, he's a fashion model, and
Like, just pull out a camera and watch him do 10 poses.
that's
in
what
like
I love
5 seconds.
about Zombie. So Mustafa was talking about someone handling your accounts or your day-to-day stuff. Zombie is an example of someone who does it all by himself, and you will see him tagging on Instagram. You know how we tag creatives, makeup artist, hairstylist, creative director. Zombie will be like, okay, creative director, Zombie Khalid. A photographer, Zombie Khalid. Model, Zombie Khalid. You know what I'm saying?
Just hashtag the hell out of it. You
Bro,
know?
he's doing it all. Like, yo, I need someone. I'm doing it all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Zombie, man. He's, doing great صراحة. He shows you like you can do it by yourself. You don't.
So
you don't need-
talented, so hard.
Very talented,
Yeah.
and I love Zombie so much. لأنه he never. I don't want to say he never flops, but he always keep doing his thing, and يعني,
He never ceases to amaze.
again, we're talking about Personage right now. Shout out to Personage for letting us hosting our pop-up shop for Astro. It was super crowded. It was amazing. Personage is a place where creatives go there or just link up with each other. Magic happens. You link up with this guy, you link up with this girl, you link up with this businessman, this businesswoman. Things start to happen. Things start to happen. Shout out to Sharqiyya. I love Sharqiyya, man. But لما ارجع الشرقية I feel like, yo, man, it's too slow in here. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Riyadh, on the other hand, is very
Just
active.
hold on. You say Sharqiyya is too slow?
Sharqiyya is
Damn.
considered too slow in Saudi Arabia.
You're
OJ.
saying that to
now.
Bahrain needs?
So, let me be honest with you. Let me be honest with you guys. We consider Bahrain part of the Sharqiyya. So when we
Right,
say
that is true.
Sharqiyya, we mean as well Bahrain. Both combined, to be honest.
We're one big family.
Absolutely. Bahrain والشرقية, that's actually our advantage for Sharqiyya. And we have Bahrain, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, you don't talk shit about us. We have Bahrain. You know what I'm saying? Do you have Bahrain? You don't. Anyway.
We show off with you.
Yeah, so هذا actually it's an advantage of Sharqiyya, its location of having another country or kingdom, Bahrain, next to it. But Riyadh, the lifestyle of people over there, they love to work, they love to connect, they're always up to something. Back then, Riyadh was 10 years behind. Right now, it's 10 years ahead. It's amazing. It happened before our eyes. In transition, كده, whoop, either you're in it, you're not in it. خلاص. You either join in the hype, or you're just watching the hype. And I recommend for everybody to join the hype. We'll go to Riyadh. We'll see what's
You see, I like that because that's kind of the commitment I made to myself. A personal commitment is why did I decide? OJ knows about this. Is why did I decide to kind of go to Saudi, move to Saudi, and work there? Even though everything is happening, I would say in Bahrain in terms of like it's picking up, but I wanted to be part of that wave.
Absolutely,
because
man,
the wave right now in Saudi is there's just so much going on, and just the overwhelming amount of people, the volume you guys have of people, and everybody just wants to. It's like in here, and I don't. It's not talking negative about my own country. I love my country, but it's pretty handful to whatever we want to do. It's like, oh yeah, we got 6 people who do that. And Sharqiyya, it's like we got 6,000, and then when we got Riyadh, that's a different level, and then Jeddah, and then we got Jazan, Tabuk. I don't even know these places. I've seen and it's
never been,
never been, but based on the photos I've seen, it's happening.
Yes. And, all across Saudi, صراحة, it's amazing. And to me personally, I think it's in the Gulf area in general. The Gulf area is popping worldwide. People look at us and be like, this is the hot spot. The Gulf, say Arabs, they're too hot right now because we're active, we're doing our thing, and بصراحة I'm glad to be living in this era, you know what I'm saying, and I'm happy we all contributing in different ways, and it's just getting started, and what's ahead is even better. Man, I just can't wait for the future صراحة, for all of us, for all the Gulf area, Saudi, Bahrain, Emirat, Kuwait, Qatar, all of that.
Anyways, with that being said, man, collaboration, networking, all that is a key to success, in my opinion.
Yes.
And you being here is hopefully kind of start of something. Hopefully, I get to see you sometime next year with a certain magazine. I always say my dream is to be in GQ Men.
Hey, GQ,
and then
you better hit up my boy. I got you, though.
He did the talent selections by
Oh,
the
there we
way.
go. So you got my contacts, just
I
hit me
got
up.
you. I got you.
and,
Inshallah, I
all that.
will holla
For
at
sure.
you.
But anyways, Ahmed, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you for this, and it's really nice meeting you. It's a
Habibi,
cool
thank you
story
so
that
much.
you're doing, and yeah, man. Hopefully, I get to see more of you in the future.
Thank you for having me, guys. Great show, great place, and great topics that we discussed.
Thank you.
Inshallah,
That was
wish
a
you the best.
pleasure.
Thank you so much, guys.
Can't
Wish you
wait
the
to
best.
see the future.
Inshallah. Let's go, baby. Gulf
All right,
area,
guys.
Saudi.
All right, guys. This is it for Out of Focus podcast. See y'all.
Let's go.